Welcome everybody to The Body's Compass. I'm your host, Matt. Today I'm joined by a man with a very interesting story, Mr. Hampus Dargren.
Yep.
Willkommen.
Thank you very much, man.
For those who aren't aware of your story, can you fill us in about what has shaped you as a man today?
Sure. So I am originally from Sweden. Spent my first 28 years over there. And I was a sportsman. So I played a sport called Floorball. It's pretty popular up there, but most Australians wouldn't know about it.
Wouldn't have a clue. Yeah.
Wouldn't have a clue. Yeah, so I did that
And when you played for the national team?
Sort of. Not actually quite a national team. I played for the student national team.
Right.
So I got a student World Cup and I won a few other trophies. I was pretty good.
So it's the equivalent of Australian schoolboys.
What do you mean?
Like that's the schoolboy or college level of
it would just be literally if you were doing like a degree, you were eligible to play for. It was pretty good quality for in terms of players. A lot of people would then go on to play in the national team and stuff like that. But I never made it to the full national team, but almost. When I was sort of done with that, met Nuala, my partner, which was your recent colleague.
I apologise.
Yeah. We met in Sweden and we stayed there for 5 years, and then
What year was that?
2011. I think we met. Yeah. And I moved here in 2018.
So she moved over there.
She moved over to me. We stayed because I was playing sport. I was doing.
Right.
I think we lived in probably 3 or 4 different places.
Okay.
During those years, and then we were supposed to move back in 2017. I decided to do another season in Switzerland, so she stayed here, and then after I'd done that season, I came over.
Yep.
And then
So you got here 2018.
18. Yes.
Just before things got a bit weird around the world.
Yes, just before that.
Yeah.
A couple of years, which I worked at a golf course.
We technically worked at the same golf course.
Yes, we did. Yes, just not at the same time.
No, but all doing the same thing.
Yeah, different things as well. So I was studying sports marketing degree in Sweden. And that's how I guess I got the job at the golf course, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't, I guess we're getting into this, but I wasn't really. I always thought because I liked sport, so then I was like, oh, sports marketing, perfect. That's sort of I can work in that.
I'd say that, yeah.
But just wasn't never really wasn't really working out for me, and I ended up being made redundant for a certain reason. I'm assuming, but
is it assuming that the reason was you didn't want to participate in a certain activity that a lot of people participated in?
Yeah, something like that. So that was 2021. Just maybe starting 2022 even. Yeah, I think 2022 January I got made redundant after all that lockdowns and everything.
Yeah.
I guess I was a bit stuck then because I had been 4 years in Australia. I just lost that job. I wasn't necessarily liking that job. I think it could have been a good deal, but I think my boss didn't really agree with me in terms of lots of things. So then I sort of had to start over, I guess. And
you have kids at that point?
Yeah, I had Luana. Oh, actually, Delphi was just born.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had 2.
Yeah.
So it was hard because I think I was obviously not in that role of like providing as a man should be, or as biologically a man has been,
Traditionally.
Yeah. And I just didn't really take any responsibility. I feel like in terms of that, I was chickening out instead of being assertive and taking decisions that was going to be good. But I did start 2 businesses. So I started a cooking business, cooking organic meals.
Which we use for the Czech Institute.
Yeah.
Raving reviews.
Yeah, thank you. But that was also, like, I think it could have probably been something, like, I would love to cook, but I don't think I put enough effort. It was just something. So, but at the same time, I actually found permaculture and started studying that. So, and that's now what I do today.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more, but yeah, obviously I can go through to what I guess the reason I'm here today is that in 2024 in November I was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Well, was it official or unofficial?
I guess because they never went into my head.
Okay.
Checked. I don't think they can actually put the label.
Yeah, officially.
But the 2 doctors that I saw was saying that it was stage 4
glioblastoma.
Stage 4 or grade 4 maybe.
Grade 4, yeah.
Yeah, glioblastoma, so the worst kind. And I had, they gave me a couple of months to live pretty much.
Yep. That was end of 2004. 2004.
End of 2024, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about, whatever, 15 months ago or 14 months ago.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess I had a decision then to make, to follow the mainstream, and we reached out to a lot of people trying to find someone that would help me, do it in an alternate way. Ended up doing a fast in Bali with Tyler Tolman, and
so this is on the back of also being told by family, friends, medical professionals, get it taken out.
Yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
All of that. So what part of you said, no, I want to do it this way?
Yeah, since meeting Nuala, like, she's obviously an alternate. She used to practice Chinese medicine, and we have done things differently from most people for such a long time.
Yeah.
In terms of how we live and how we eat and how we take care of our bodies. So I think that it just didn't feel right to, and obviously did a bit of research as well, and I can't say, tell anyone else what to do or anything like that, but from my perspective now, surgery for a cancer might not be the best option, even though there's obviously, because my symptoms wasn't that bad. I only had double vision on my eye.
Because it was a slow onset, wasn't it? Not
Yeah.
like you woke up and 20 kilos.
Which is interesting because we were chatting a little bit about Germanische Heilkunde or German New Medicine, which I have found after this experience. But it's quite clear what actually happened with my brain tumor. So I got a job after all these sort of doing the cooking business, and then we had our 3rd baby, and I was like, shit, like I need to make some money now.
Yeah.
And then I got a job with as a labourer, but it was still a solid 3-4 days a week, so we could have solid income. And that's when my double vision started. So from a German New Medicine perspective, I went into a healing phase of my conflict that I couldn't provide, and that's the reason, the brain tumor.
So the tumor itself is actually the healing mechanism.
Yes, from that perspective it is, and that's what's so interesting. And I guess if you do believe in that, and then what the Western medicine does is just to go and cut it out, it sort of erupts the whole healing phase the body's actually in. But yeah, it was obviously a big decision, even though I didn't necessarily feel any pressure to do surgery, but I know that everyone would suggest it. But I guess maybe it's we were also talking about you got a German partner, and my Swedish, they're not as stern as the Germans, so I think they weren't telling me what they thought really.
Right.
At all times. It was sort of like, are you going to do the surgery? And then there was no more, because that's not at least how my family works.
Yeah.
So it was just a bit, Yeah.
Which is funny because it comes across as rude or like they don't care.
Yeah.
That's just how.
Yeah.
That's the culture.
I think, to be honest, I wish, and I'm trying to go more in that direction now because it's just so much easier. Like it's just easier to just be
more German.
Yeah. But it's just easier to be more direct and like say what you want.
Oh, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. So in terms of pressure, it wasn't really. I think it was and I guess that's the thing, that it felt right for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I never questioned it really. We were just looking for opportunities, and once the opportunity came, I was just like, let's try it.
Yep.
Like I can at least try it, and then we can, see what happens after that.
So I get asked often by a lot of people, how's Hampus doing? I get asked that a lot.
Yeah.
So feel free to share your journey through that part of your life and the answer to that question.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice to hear, first of all. But yeah, I'm doing good now. I'm doing great.
So this is 14, 15-ish months.
Yeah, so
you were given, I think it's 4 to 6 months, I think, on average.
Yeah, I have something in my head says 3, but maybe they said 3 to 6, 4 to 6, whatever, something like that. And
so according to the medical world, you're not supposed to be here.
No, should be gone. And they obviously wanted to do the surgery straight away. But I went to did the fast. Obviously lost a lot of.
So that's a 21-day fast, is it?
Yeah, so I was 21 days on water, and then I did 21 days on juice, and then 21 days of fruit. So it's a 63-day fast, you could say.
Yeah.
Obviously, lost a lot of weight, and
how much did you lose?
20 kilos.
20.
Yeah. I think I was about 105 and went down to 80 something, 83, 84, something like that. Yeah, so it was a lot of weight, and I felt really good coming back. I was sort of on a high when I came back.
You feel clean?
Yeah, clean.
Yeah.
It's almost it's interesting how you feel when at that point, like I came back and I was like, obviously I don't have to eat so much, get a new perspective on that. But I'm definitely back into, I think I've changed a few things, but I'm a lot back into same routine in terms of food. It's just, it gets hard too as well, because in Bali I was like, I didn't have to do anything. I was just being taken care of. Whereas if you're out in 35 degrees gardening for 8 hours, you sort of need to eat.
Helpful. Very helpful.
So, I think I've got a different relationship to food to have done that, and to know, like, okay, it's not, don't always have to eat all the time.
What would you say, I don't want to say what was harder, what sat with you more, the lack of food in the beginning or being alone with your thoughts?
Alone with the thoughts, I think, was pretty hard. I did a bit of a silly thing as well. I did a 3-day Vipassana, I think it's called, where you can't talk to anyone. So I was totally isolated for 3 days.
Were you by yourself or just
by myself?
With others who couldn't talk to them?
Yeah, there was a few of those. I decided not to see my family just because it would be hard with the 3 kids and stuff. But I did do a few of the things, like the meditations and stuff, with the other crew, which was about 3 or 4 people. But I was not allowed to talk to them. But that was a really hard experience, because I was, you can't use any screens or anything like that. No distractions, just alone with
literally you alone with yourself.
Yeah. So I did a bit of like journaling and wrote down things about my past and stuff like that, which was it was a good experience. But yeah, that was tricky. I'd made it a bit harder for myself than I had to, I guess. But I was there, so I thought, why not?
Go home, eh?
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Yeah.
And that was 21 days.
Yeah, so I was there was 21 days on water in Bali, and then we had a week of sort of drinking juice there at the hub where we were.
And how was that integrating back home when you came back?
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't like, again, I think I was lucky enough to not have to go back to work straight away. So that pressure hasn't been there. So I was able to, just slowly integrate back, and I was able to just take it easy and not have any pressure like that, which has been very helpful. I think that would have been tricky having to go back to work straight away.
Especially like a 9 to 5
Yes.
thing or...
Yeah, because I think if we weren't supported, we were supported by, a lot of different people in different ways. But if I have had to go back to work, then it would have been, that would have been stressful, and I think it would have been just not, sort of would have, wouldn't have made the Bali trip any, I don't know what to say, but yeah, you understand what I mean. Like that would have been null and void sort of thing.
Do you notice, what was the biggest change you noticed when you got back? More, I guess, environmental wise.
In terms of my body or feeling?
Body, feeling, and just how you live day to day, and your thought processes day to day.
Yeah, I think I've definitely, and I've been working on this for this whole year after, but just becoming, and that's especially in terms of with Germanische Heilkunde, G&M, they talk a lot about biology and how the man protects and provides and is, assertive. And I think that has been a real big thing for me to implement this year. Because, talking about being supported, I think I've always had that, but it's sort of been to a detriment because it's also like, oh, I'm supported. I don't have to actually take any action. I'm just going to cruise through here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when we had our third kid and we homeschool, and I have to step up, and that's what I've done this year, and that's the biggest, probably the biggest change that's come from this, I would say.
Have you noticed any? Is there like a cultural difference? Like, would you have handled this different living in Sweden relative compared to here?
Potentially. I wonder if it is. Sweden's probably a little bit more extreme in terms of like government and following their rules and stuff like that. Yeah. So there might have been.
Germans do like a rule as well.
Yes. Yeah, we're very sort of rule followers up north. I know I learned this the other week actually or something, but homeschooling is not allowed in Sweden.
Yeah, I think it's the same in Germany.
Homeschool, which is obviously, and I'm sure they've had their reasons of certain parents not doing it right. Whatever,
extremely logical.
Yeah, but so I think it may have been a bit different. It feels, even though it's sort of twisted, because during the COVID, Sweden was the country that were a bit more lax.
That's right.
And here it was like one of the worst ones. So I don't know.
Funny place we live.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I think in terms of like that type of stuff, I think it would have been similar, maybe a bit worse or harder to sort of explain to people in Sweden and stuff like that.
So you would have been the outcast almost.
Yeah, which I feel like I have been a lot here though as well.
Yeah, interesting.
It's trying to find the people that align with you. That's sort of how it goes. I mean, not that everyone will tell you you're an idiot just because, but it's still finding people that align seems to be quite important to be able to find good friends or stuff like that. Yeah.
And you feel has that perspective for you changed since all this happened? I guess who you let into your life and who you give energy to and all that.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's definitely a thing. We were also just talking about it on the trip down here in terms of what I give energy to, and like how I can be quiet. Like if someone doesn't answer my text, I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you answering me now?" Like, and it's just the fact to not give energy into that so much, and sometimes you're gonna have to let people go as well. I think it's just at some point maybe, or let go of the urge to like be connected all the time. Maybe.
Which is really hard for people pleasers.
Yes. That's what I used to be. So I'm working hard on that.
Yeah, just like fuck everyone.
Yeah. I'm just going full German.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's a hard thing for me, and I've definitely been working on that.
Yeah.
Like trying not to, like I said, if someone doesn't answer a text or whatever it can be, just to not make a big deal out of it. You know, they could have had something more important to do at that point and then forgot, or whatever.
There's always more to the story than taking it personal.
Yes, it is. And I think that's probably another thing that I've learned as well. I think I've learned a lot of things. I can mention 2 things just popped up in my head, but just to think about that people, they have their own shit to deal with. It's not about me, potentially, that they are not answering. You know, something happened in their life.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that came up, because I'm now running my own business, I know that, like, I obviously don't know everything. And that's the same with everyone else that runs their own business. So I think I have before I would have put people on pedestals. Like, you know, the policeman, he knows everything about being a policeman, or the doctor, or the, you know, whatever it is, the electrician. They know everything because that's what they do. They're just another human that has studied whatever thing they study, and then they might be good at some things and not so good at some things. But just not to put people up on that pedestal, which also helps me, because I have had a feeling that I need to know everything before, and that's probably what has stopped me. And you know,
yeah, I think a lot of people are like that. I know when teaching the Czech stuff, all the students like always ask, "What do you want to do?" "I want to do this." "What's stopping you?" "I don't know enough."
Yeah.
Or when will you know enough?
Yeah.
When is that magic line?
Yeah.
Day?
You can never know enough, and I guess that's what I've learned this year, having started my business at a whole new place, and you know, I've just been learning things every day, and I'm just getting more and more confident, and I know that if I don't know everything, it doesn't matter either. I can just you know, I can practice it, I can look it up, or it doesn't mean that I'm unqualified for the job.
I know a lot of electricians, when they learn stuff, it's often a shock.
Yes. It might be true.
So, changing gears, you've been studying permaculture for how long?
Well, I started in end of 2021, so I'm coming into my 4th or 5th year now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you're working through transforming people's backyards mostly, or at least when you were here.
Yep.
You were doing that.
Yep.
What was the calling to start down that path?
So I've been, I guess we were talking about, you know, being alternate, doing things a bit differently. I remember, like, when I was playing sport, when I moved out of home, I lived with 3 or 4 other guys in the team. And even though I was only 19, the difference in how we sort of ate and stuff like that was quite, you know, I would always cook my food, and I was always into cooking and nourishing my body, whereas most other people just, you know, they don't really care, even though they were sort of aspiring sportsmen. So I've always been into that, and then meeting Nuala has propelled that, I guess, even more. And when I found permaculture, I was just like, oh, this is it. This is what I want to do. This actually means something to me and to other people.
So a lot of people wouldn't know what permaculture is.
No. So it's, I guess, simplified, it's organic gardening, you could say. So, and it's not necessarily, I guess, in a Sydney context, you might be growing food in your backyard, but where I'm up now on the countryside, it's a bit more on, you know, doing people's whole properties and, you know, how to be fire safe through plants, or how to save water, or like it's on a massive scale. It can be on a massive scale.
So it's basically using the land to make the most out of it.
Yes, I guess you could say so. Yeah. Helping the land to be more efficient in, for example, stopping fires or catching water or whatever.
That's helping the land be more efficient at what you need it to be.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So what's the benefits of gardening using permaculture principles?
Yeah, so there's heaps, I would say, in terms of just a simple thing is in terms of food. It's obviously going to give you a lot healthier food. And one of the big things I would say is the soil. It's always starting in the soil. So if you grow food in bad soil, the food's not going to be as nutritious, and it's also going to deplete the soil, because most people, like the food that you eat from the normal supermarket would be, I'm assuming, monocropped, like, in terms of like
monocropped pesticide.
So that means that there's only one type of plant in, for
like a football field.
For a football field, more. And then they're getting sprayed with chemicals. And the problem with having only one type of crop is that you're going to just get all those type of nutrients out of the soil, and you're not adding anything back. So it just becomes, not good. So in terms of permaculture, we always work on diversity. So companion planting is something that I always use, which is you plant plants that work together, and that also feeds the soil.
So if you've got a plant that usually attracts this beetle or this worm, then the plant next to it can attract the predator to that beetle / worm. They can not live off each other, but support growth, the soil. Where in monocropping, it would be that plant for a season, take it out, dig it up, plant that plant again, and so on it goes, which destroys the soil.
And that's also why they then have to till the soil, which is also destroys all the fungi and all the networks underneath in the soil. So it's just a vicious cycle, and I guess they just keep sort of padding the problem, like with more pesticides or more sprays or whatever it is, just to get their crop. But it's not sustainable.
No. I mean, even glyphosate's starting to be banned. Finally. I remember back in the greenkeeping days, we used to spray that shit like it was going out of fashion. But now they're showing that in the water table, I guess down to the rock level, it just stays there. Doesn't move.
Okay.
At all. Just like mercury.
Perfect. Well, that's the thing, I guess, which is I feel like it's so important. I'm super happy that I can do this for a job, because I can educate people about these things, and it's so important I feel like everyone would know that glyphosate or using Roundup or whatever it is, like that's not good. Surely people have that in the back of that. It's not good. But then when you and then eventually they come up with, actually it doesn't leave just sits in the earth or sits in the water table, and then we drink it or whatever it is. That comes 50 years later, but I feel like if you know that's a problem in your head, don't support that stuff.
So glyphosate is an active ingredient in Roundup.
Yes.
Roundup, from memory, I've got to go back to my TAFE days now, is a systemic contact herbicide, which basically means it kills everything it touches. Everything that's green. That can't be good.
No, that's what I mean.
It's sold as convenience to get rid of the weeds, but in reality, the definition of a weed is just a plant growing where it's not wanted. But then each plant over its lifetime puts 27% of its own body mass back into the soil as protein, carbohydrates, fats, etc. But then if you spray your neighbour, you got no support.
That's it.
But if you look in nature, there's no monocropping in nature.
No.
And we're a product of nature.
That's the whole point of permaculture as well. We're trying to mimic nature, but obviously we live differently than today. But there's so many ways you can mimic nature, and obviously one of the ways is to do that companion planting, to have plants that work together, and you're actually adding to the soil rather than trying to kill it or pick it out of the soil or whatever. I mean, I do also pick out weeds if I have any, but I also have a lot of techniques to prevent plants that I don't want, that are organic and good for the plants. And the soil.
Okay, 3 scenarios.
Yeah.
We'll do it one by one. First of all, there's, let's say, the classic apartment living. Balcony 2x4 ish. Someone wants to grow food or have some nice looking flowers or whatever. Biggest tip.
So what I would say for anyone who lives, like, I think anyone can do gardening anywhere pretty much. But I would say one really good tip is to get a worm farm for starters. Not necessarily gardening, but that will help you. You can, with fertilizer, so you can use the worm wee, which is called, to fertilize your plants. And you can also use
castings.
it for castings. Is
Worm castings, yeah. Okay,
yeah, so you can use the poo and the wee to fertilize your plants. So you don't have to buy any of the crap at whatever store.
Yeah.
And also you can compost your food scraps. So you close the loop instead of having to waste that.
And how do they compost?
And you just, the worms will eat it.
Okay.
Yeah. So depending on how big worm farm you have, but if you're like a single person in a household, the worm farm will manage.
So you put all your scraps into the worm farm?
Yeah, straight into the worm farm, and there will
There
become worm castings.
Yeah.
So that's a really good start. And then in terms of food, I'll probably make it simple, like do herbs and flowers. You could probably do the odd, tomato, and there's heaps of stuff that works in pots.
They're not beef.
Was that not beef?
Not beef.
No. Not beef tomatoes. But yeah, like, the stuff that are smaller, lettuces, spinaches, there's heaps of stuff, and you can pack it really tight from a permaculture perspective.
Assuming you get enough sunlight as well.
Yes, sunlight is obviously vital.
Is it 6 to 8 hours minimum?
Depends on what you grow,
Sure.
really.
I don't think fruit needs like no less than 6.
Yeah,
direct
if you want to do like fruit, absolutely. You want like a north facing, ideally. It from an Australian perspective. But you can always, lettuces and different herbs and stuff don't necessarily require as much. So that's probably what I would suggest. You can do depending on how your balcony looks, but there's heaps of options.
So it's still something you can do.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now your classic suburban backyard, however big they are. What tips?
I guess it depends a little bit on how you want your backyard to look. If you want if in a normal backyard you could probably grow all your food if you really wanted to. But I would obviously choose stuff that I would like to eat. Is very important. I think sometimes people grow things and they don't necessarily like it.
I think whatever you eat a lot of, and probably what's the most expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So choose that, and in terms then of space, I would also try and probably get a compost bin or like a larger scale, so you can actually produce your own soil as well, which is also going to help with the quality, because it's hard to find good quality soil. And composting your food scraps, not supporting big business that don't do such a good job, etc. You eat, grow food that you want to eat, and then you can do it on quite a large scale if you do have the.
What foods
space.
grow well together?
A classic sort of one is probably like tomatoes and basil, and maybe capsicum you can throw in there. They really love each other. That's one that I always use. There's something called the Three Sisters, which is corn, cucumber, or beans, and zucchini, or some form of squash. They work well together as well. What else could it be? There's, plenty.
The list goes on and on.
The list goes on and on, but that's probably the two classic ones. And that works well too in terms of tomato and basil. Like, they work so well in cooking too. So I always plant them together, and then I plant marigolds always with them as well. That's for pest control.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's like
good to know.
A pairing that I always use, for example. Yeah.
And someone with a bit of land.
Yeah.
What would you do? Say 5 acres.
5 acres. Yeah. Well, then you start getting into zoning your land a little bit more. So in permaculture, we talk about zones. There's 5 different zones. So I'll probably do a similar setup to the suburban home to have, your food garden close to the house. So that same whatever veggies and stuff like that, and then I'll probably look into having food forest.
Yeah.
At that type of place.
Yeah.
So fruit trees, nut trees, and then there's in a food forest there's 7 different layers. So you can have vining layers and a herb layer, obviously the tree layer. This whatever else it is. But I would look into do that. Because that's going to give you, if...
Would you recommend that near the herbs and the fruits, or as separate?
That's probably a bit more of a separate thing to have on... So you want the... Basically, you want the stuff that you are going to visit often close to the house. Because if your compost bin is 50 meters away from your house, you're probably not going to, unless you're really committed, you might forget to put your food there or turn it or whatever you need to do with it. So I would suggest to have the stuff that you need to see after often, you need to have close to the house. It's always a good rule.
Yeah.
And then the food forest, that's a bit more self-sufficient. You don't necessarily have to look at that every day, do something every day. So that this needs to establish, and then you can sort of leave it to do its own job.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about if there's anything else, but that's probably something that I would definitely.
Also, obviously, it depends the topography of the land and all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
How could you better maintain water?
Yeah. That's a big thing. Water is obviously very important.
Very helpful.
And it's good to make as much use out of it as possible. One thing I've done on the place I am now, we've got, I can get confused with hectares and acres, but I think we've got 5 acres maybe. But we've got a sloping landscape.
Yeah.
So we're on there's a hill behind us, and then we're on a flat where the house is, but then there's another hill down. And obviously, we've noticed, because there's quite a lot of heavy rain where we are, a couple of times a year. So then it will just sit at the bottom of the property. And I was just okay, we need to do something about this. So we have built something or dug something called a swale. You heard of a swale before?
No.
It's like a ditch, really. So you dig a trench or a ditch.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that you're digging out, you put on in front of it as a mound.
Sure.
There's a ditch and a mound, and then you plant stuff in the mound. And the idea is that the water is collected in the ditch and sits there instead of just running down the hill. It sits there and then soaks into the ground. And then you have your plants or your trees, or I have a pumpkin at the moment and zucchini.
So it's a water catchment system.
It's a water catchment system. So that's one way of catching the water, and so all of that water that would have run down and just ended up on the driveway is now being soaked up by my plants.
Yeah.
So that's a large scale thing. Obviously, you can't have a swale in the suburban block.
Tricky.
You can, but
Tricky.
most of them are not so hilly. But
knowing here, you need
Yeah.
planning permission or something.
Yeah, exactly. But that's one of those things that are like really great for, because it's going to benefit so many things.
Well, everyone and everything as well. I know in regenerative farming they use contours to, let's say if there's a hill, they'll cut like a contour in the middle of the hill, and the next time it rains it just goes in there. Then if it overflows, there's another one. So it doesn't.
I think that feels like you're talking about swales though, because I was
that's
when
what
you
was
said
wondering.
contour. That's another important thing. So the swales is on the contour line, so it's always level.
Yeah.
And then you can have, if you have a larger hill, you can have spillways, so the water spills to the next swale and then to the next swale. That's how you catch the water and slow it down, and then you obviously plant on each mound, so all of the plants will catch the water.
So a question I would have for you, I don't know if you know the answer, but knowing what you know about sort of farming and food growing and all that, many people say we have to farm the way we farm in order to feed the population. I think that's bullshit. Could you, because I'm not a farmer, I've studied horticulture and I've studied Chinese farming methods, and biodynamic farming methods.
Mm.
What's your take and what's your answer to that
Yeah.
conundrum?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it's bullshit. Definitely.
But why though?
Yeah, why? I mean, because I think the permaculture perspective also to look at it is to try and do it in more of a community-based way. Like, I'm just thinking back to, so when we lived here in Cronulla, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. We had a little backyard, and I don't know how many square meters would have had of growing space. I probably could have extended that.
It was a townhouse, so like your classic townhouse.
Yeah, your classic townhouse.
L
sort
shape.
of. Yeah.
Outside bit.
But the thing is, if everyone on my street would grow food, and everyone obviously knew how to do it,
we'd have more food than Woolies.
Yeah.
Just on one street.
Yeah. So that's the way of, like, to say that, you know, we need these massive farms with monocrops and stuff. I don't agree, because it's like, I just know how much food I can grow on my little slot sort of thing.
Which would be more than enough for you and your family.
Yeah, in terms of, and then, you know, if you had everyone on the street doing that, and then you obviously got, like, you know, where we live now on acreages, like, you can grow way more than you actually will use.
Yeah.
If I turned that into trying to grow as much food as I could, that would be, you know, so much surplus. So I definitely do not believe in the whole, you know, like, maybe, like, you know, I'm looking at an apartment block without, you know, they do have a little bit of balcony, but not much. Like, maybe they might not necessarily be able to grow all their food, you know what I mean? But that's also another thing to maybe go into, but it might not be meant to live in a small little apartment like that.
That's an episode for another day, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think, you know, it's still,
but even if you had that roof.
Yeah, exactly. You can use the roof of the, and you can grow. Yeah, to be honest, let me take that back. Like, you use the roof, and they will feed that whole apartment. Yeah, pretty much. Definitely with, you know, fruiting veg, or, like, you know, vegetables, or. So yeah, I you know, that is just I guess it's a thing that they will tell you, so you know, makes people feel better about themselves. Maybe.
Well, it's say corporations stay in business, and
exactly.
So they're quote unquote needed.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's just not. It's not the thing, and I guess that's why I'm happy that I found permaculture, because it's actually, like I said before, it feels good to be able to do something that feels good, that's helpful, that's actually helpful to other people and to myself as well.
It's also how we're designed to live.
Yeah.
We're not designed to go to a shop and exchange plastic, metal.
100%. And I can tell you this: the feeling you get when you actually harvest your food that you've grown from a little seed, like, there's nothing like it. And then you
completely taste different too.
Absolutely. Like, you can't get any better. So just that feeling, and just to be able to have that on and on, like, that's priceless.
It just takes a bit of effort.
Yeah, bit of effort. But I think that's a thing in terms of, for people that want to grow food. I would suggest, because I've had a few clients that are saying probably, oh, you know, I've tried it, but I couldn't do it, and there's different reasons. But, you know, some people they might put a lettuce in the middle of summer in full sun for like 14 hours. Like, it's gonna die. Like, and then they go, oh, you know, I tried, but it didn't work. Or there's, you know, whatever else. Like, you have to have a bit of knowledge, and that's why I would say, like, I have an offering where I actually garden with my client, not necessarily just making for them. I can do that too, but when I garden with my clients, I can teach you or the client as I go. And then, you know, if you do that a few times, then you have the basic knowledge to actually keep going, and you know what to do, and then having me as a whatever backup or something like that.
And it's not overly complicated.
No.
Once you get the
gist, it's definitely not. And I think maybe that's also another thing that's, like, being put out there potentially. Like, oh, it's super hard, so then people just go to the shops.
Yeah.
But if you know the basics and you spend, it could be, if you have a small lot, like 10 minutes a day, just to make sure that everything's doing what it should, then it's not a big thing.
Well, especially with the worm and compost setup.
Yeah.
It's really minimal effort.
Very minimal. You don't have to do anything. Like just, the only thing you do is to put the food in, pretty much.
And water it every now and then.
Water it, yeah. Make sure they stay alive. Don't put the worm farm in 40-degree heat.
No.
But, just common sense. But I think it's, when you get the gist, when you get going, it's actually, and you're going to find that it's actually so rewarding as well. So, but you're just going to need to get over that first hurdle, I guess, of not knowing exactly what you do.
Well, that's the... When I work with a patient and ask what they want, I can't have that. I can't do that. Yeah. It's just their first immediate.
Yeah.
Like, who told you that?
Yeah.
Oh, I just can't. It's always the first speed hump, and inevitably it's come from someone else. It's not theirs, and But anyway, you're living proof. That it can be.
That's it. Yeah. You don't always have to listen to what everyone says to you about you.
No, because they're going to see you through them.
Yes.
So, Hampus, feel free to share any final comments or where people can find you or services you offer.
Yeah, so we've been touching on a little bit, but my business or my Instagram is Hampus the Organic Gardener. Matt might put it in the show notes just to
figure out how to.
And my offerings, like I said, in terms of gardening, is just I'm pretty happy to do anything, but I do enjoy doing food gardens mainly, and like I said, I can offer sort of consultation in terms of doing the gardening work with you, or I can do it all for you. But I prefer to do it with people, because then I know that it's going to be looked after. Then I'm not going to get a call back in 6 months and saying, oh, it didn't work. Like, did you take care of it?
Is this in person only, or is it online as well?
I don't necessarily have an online setup, but I'm more than happy to do it online as well. That's definitely a potential to do, absolutely. But I do prefer in person.
Get your hands dirty.
Get my hands dirty. But I obviously live in Wollongbar, but we're down in Sydney every now and then, so I'm available down here too, if it can be planned properly. But I think that's it. Hampus the Organic Gardener. That's check it out, and
boom. It's needed.
Yeah, definitely needed.
It's definitely needed, and there was a quote that I saw a while back, and I don't know who said it, but it's just truth in its simplest form. Despite all mankind's accomplishments, we would not be here without a layer of topsoil and the fact that it rains.
I mean, that's very true, and that's like I also touched on before. That's in terms of the soil, that's the most important part, and that's what we always try, and in permaculture we build the soil rather than depleting it. So
I read some research out of, I think it was the US, where they were saying there's only 80 harvests left.
Oh yeah, okay.
If that doesn't scare the shit out of it, that's 80 years worth of food. That's it.
Yeah, that's very
before
scary.
the topsoil is destroyed. Once it's destroyed, it's gone.
Yeah, that just tells you. I guess the good news in terms of that, you can take it upon yourself and do it yourself. And I guess maybe in 80 years we're going to come to that realization, like, oh shit, we should. Well, now we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe there'll be a vaccine for that, but
it might.
We won't go on to that today. Hampus, thank you kindly, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you as always.
You too, mate.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Bodies Compass podcast with Matt Sorensen and today's guest, Hampus Dargren. If you want to know more about Hampus and his services, check out his Instagram at Hampus the Organic Gardener or his website www.hampustheorganicgardener.com. If you like this week's episode, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and a warm review. Please share this episode with someone you think it might help. If you want to find out more, give us a follow on Instagram at The Body Scumpus, subscribe to Matt's YouTube at Matt Sorensen Live, or swing by heelhub.net. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.